Geraldo Rivera joins us now with the Daily Take.
Hey, buddy.
How you doing? All right, let's start with the Pam Bondi stuff. I'm
Excellent.
actually jealous of Lee Zeldin for going to all 50 states. You know, I've been to 49. I've never been to Kentucky, which is odd. That's one. If you wouldn't think you'd miss Kentucky, right?
Never been to the Derby? I've got to take you to the Derby
weird?
one of these
You would think
days.
it would be like Hawaii or Alaska, but
Yeah.
how about this for a transition on the reaction to Bondi? Straight out of Kentucky, Thomas Massie, who's been a thorn in the president's side from the Republican side of the aisle, says, I support firing Pam Bondi. Do you? I hope the next AG will release all the Epstein files. According to the law, follow up with investigations, prosecutions, and arrests. He was right to fire her, says Massie, and he says he should have kept her. Okay, Thomas Massie. So what do you think of that and of Bondi?
I don't understand what he should have fired her.
I have
but he
no
should have
idea what
kept
that
her.
means, that last part. Is that right, guys? Is that last part? Or, no, that seems a little bit off. I don't know what Massie's talking about in the last part. But anyway, what do you think of Bondi?
I like Massie. Let me just say that parenthetically. I thought, to talk about Bondi, let me just talk about first one sentence on the president last night.
Sure.
That was
we'll
a
talk
stale
about that anyway. But yep,
badly delivered. Stale speech, badly delivered. Pam Bondi did her boss one last favor by knocking that story, the frustration over the way the war is running in Iran, off the front page, or at least out of the headlines.
I'm
now
only
the headline becomes briefly.
I'm only kind of laughing a little bit about that because we used to say they're trying to distract us from the Epstein files, and people were accusing the president of doing that by going to war, and now you're the reverse.
Well, I think that clearly it had that effect. It may be a bit tongue-in-cheek, but I think that it has had that effect. It has changed the conversation, at least among the the talking heads of the country. I don't know why she got fired particularly. I thought she was awful. I was a fan of hers. Not a big fan. I was a fan of hers and friendly with her during the Fox years. She was a terrific local prosecutor in Florida Attorney General. She got into the big job, and I think she became overtly partisan, and I think that helped undermine her credibility with the general American public. The way she performed, for instance, before the House committee was really, I think, unseemly. My mother wears, your mother wears combat boots.
Right,
and,
yelling about the Dow 50,000 and all that. Yeah, that was a crazy day.
All that. It was you're the Attorney General. You're not, some political cheerleader. So I think that she undermined her credibility there. She didn't distinguish herself as Attorney General at all because she became a political operator. And the way she handled Epstein, I got the names on my desk, all that.
Right.
Come on. When who did someone tell her to do that? Will she reveal that in a book a year or two from now that someone ordered her to take the fall? I don't know, but I wish her well. I think that Todd Blanche is the right guy for the job. He's already in the job. He's been doing the job. The president clearly trusts him, which I think is really very important for that role particularly. I never heard anyone say anything to undermine his professional expertise, his qualifications to hold the job. And I think that particularly in the last several months, the Justice Department has, under his control or him really running it, has been divided. The legal side of it he's done, and he's done well. She's handled the political side, which she's done poorly. The president clearly ran out of patience and said,
well, we knew that
when
he sent out that message that he meant to send to her directly, and he put it out to everybody. So he's been frustrated for a while. By the way, we figured out what Thomas Massie was saying. It's not too difficult to confuse you and I, Geraldo, as you know, but it was a poll. It was right to fire her. He should have kept her. So he was asking. Is that right, Claudine? It was asking people.
I see.
So it didn't show. It showed up kind of weird the way I read it.
So what were the numbers? Did we not have the results?
Maybe we're waiting for the results.
Mystery.
We're waiting for the results to come in. So.
Okay. I'll be here when you get them. Let me know.
Oh yeah. Well, you'll be the first to know.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.